Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Thursday and we've got some stuff to talk about. We've got to talk about the latest update on the Crystal Lake TV show. That's right, the Jason Voorhees prequel TV show has just got an update, so let's jump right into it. Alright, so we've got to talk about Crystal Lake, the TV series, because for the first time we don't just have this rumored start date or this news about the lawsuit we've all grown so tired of hearing about. We actually have a report of a star that is attached to it, and this is great news. We all know that it was supposed to contain the story of not only a young Jason, because we were going to get Jason Voorhees in this too, and the rumor has it that we're going to get Jason Voorhees in multiple phases of his life, but we're also going to be getting this prequel Pamela Voorhees, this much younger Pamela Voorhees. And apparently now we have an actress that's attached to that. And that actress is Linda Cardellini. And Linda Cardellini is one of those actresses you probably have heard of. And if you haven't heard of her, you probably should have. In fact, I can almost guarantee you've seen her in something. So this makes me excited, because she is sort of one of those actresses I've been following for a long time, and it's good to see that she is in this part. Now, what has actually been said in the past about this series now is starting to look like it could be true. We get a younger Pamela Voorhees that sort of might be raising this young Jason Voorhees who drowns in Camp Crystal Lake. And we're possibly going to be getting those flash forwards that are still going to be prequels to the different movies or whatever, that or even sort of take place around the same time as the other movies with Jason Voorhees. I could see them doing that still. This doesn't really change that narrative that we've been told, but they have cast this young Pamela Voorhees, and I think that is great. And I think that this is actually a really good choice. Now, let's break down what exactly was said. According to Bloody Disgusting, Linda Cardellini is reportedly in talks to star in the Crystal Lake series from A24. The article goes on to say A24 and Peacock are heading to Crystal Lake for a small screen expansion of the Friday the 13th franchise, and the team may have found their Mrs. Voorhees for the prequel series. According to Jeff Snyder from the Insider, Linda Cardellini is in talks to play Jason's mother in the upcoming Crystal Lake series. Brad Caleb Kane, Welcome to Derry, is the showrunner for Crystal Lake. Peacock had given the project a straight-to-series order in 2022, with Crystal Lake being described as an expanded prequel to the original Friday the 13th, featuring both Jason Voorhees and his mother, Pamela Voorhees. The project's original showrunner was Brian Fuller Hannibal, with Fuller's departure leading to the retooling of the series. From the moment I watched Jason squeeze a guy's eyeball out of its socket in glorious 3D at the tender age of 8 years old, I knew my creative path was someday destined to converge with the man behind the mask, Caleb said in a recent statement. That statement from last year continued. Nothing defined my childhood more than growing up in the golden age of slasher flicks, and nothing defined the genre more than Friday the 13th. I couldn't be more excited for the opportunity to contribute a chapter to this iconic franchise, particularly with the fearless partners at Peacock and A24. Crystal Lake will bring Friday the 13th back to life after 16 years of Jason Voorhees laying dormant at the bottom of a lake due to a messy legal rights over Jason Voorhees. Mrs. Voorhees, of course, was originally played by Betsy Palmer. Now, of course, the amazing Betsy Palmer is not a star that could easily be replaced. And whether or not this actress can pull it off is another thing entirely. But then again, a lot of people didn't think that anyone could pull off Norman Bates, and then you watch the Psycho series, and it is pretty good. The young Norman Bates actually rocks in that series, and if you haven't seen it, I urge you to check it out. But there have been several people that have reported on this before, saying that Adrienne King, who actually played Alice in the original, was maybe supposed to be playing an older version of Pamela Voorhees or something to that regard. I've heard so many different things, but she is supposedly attached, or at least was at one point, which makes that a good thing. Like I said, replacing Betsy Palmer is not going to be something they're going to do easily. However, if any actress can do it, you have to take that part and bring it into a different direction and make it your own. And I think that Linda Cardellini can do this. I think that she may actually be able to pull this off. Now, I find this to be really great because a lot of people never thought this series was going to happen. I've heard it time and time again, this series just isn't going to happen at all. But now with Linda Cardellini being reported to be in it, I think we have a nice little start to casting this series. She has been in so many different things, so many different types of movies. But if you go all the way back to the very beginning of her career, not quite to the very beginning, but pretty much her early career, she had a few horror films that she did. Particularly, there was one called Dead Man on Campus, where it was more of a dark comedy, if you will. And then immediately after that, she had Strangeland with Dee Snider. And Dee Snider, of course, is the front man for Twisted Sister. And I believe he wrote that movie, if I'm not mistaken. And that was a very epically cool movie. One that he has talked about not too long ago, possibly diving back into. Going back into the world of Strangeland and visiting his character who actually called himself Captain Howdy. That would be very unique to see him do that after so many years. But a lot of times recently, it seems like we are getting these things that are coming back to us after so many years. You wouldn't have thought that Friday the 13th would be one of those things, especially when this series was announced a couple years ago now. And it has had trouble even getting off the ground. But they have not given up on this project, just like they didn't give up on the Buffy the Vampire Slayer project that happened not too long ago. You might remember on this channel, I actually did a video talking about the Buffy the Vampire Slayer reboot possibly happening. And I did this because I heard Michelle Gellar talking about it a lot. And as soon as she started saying she was open to it, I knew what we had heard previously from Dolly Parton about the possibility of it continuing. So I knew that there was that possibility. So then I do this video, and a couple hours later, it is announced that we have gotten a new Buffy the Vampire series. Now, can magic strike twice? Can I do a video about this and we get this casting choice confirmed by tomorrow? Well, only time will tell. But I really do think this is a good casting choice, and I think that this is good news for the series. Now, of course, it is still a rumor. This guy that reported it has been right in the past several times, but he's also been wrong. So you do still have to kind of take it with a grain of salt, even though it is news that we hope is true. Now, until we actually hear that the actress has signed, it is still a rumor. But this is a good start because knowing that this series hasn't been talked about in a little bit, it's kind of gone off people's radar. For that reason, I tend to believe that it's possible that he could have really heard this somewhere, that this could be news that is just out there, that it's ready to be announced to the world. So with that, I kind of think it's going to be something that turns out to be true. And if it is, this is, I think, a great actress to kick off this series. I think now the bar has been raised with the other actors that they need to put in, and I want to see this actually happen now. I'm excited. And it's supposed to start filming sometime this year, of course, but we've heard that before. So I hope that this time proves to be different and we actually do get to see this happen. Now, with that being said, I'm going to leave the question off to you guys. I want to know what you guys are thinking about this. Are you excited about this? Are you not excited about this? Do you think that Linda Cardellini is a good choice for this role, or do you think she's a terrible choice? Are you still excited for the Jason Voorhees series, even though we've had so many false starts and so many news items come out that have been negative, that have promised us something and then not actually delivered? What do you guys think about this? Are you sure that this time will be different, or do you think we're in for another disappointment? As always, we want to know what you guys think. Make sure you are leaving us that comment in the comment box below, letting us know what you think. Also, don't forget to share this video with all of your friends. They're going to want to be a part of this crazy conversation that we're having. And then make sure you hit that like button. It's free. It helps the channel, and you know we appreciate it. And then Miko says we need more subscribers. And look at this face. You don't want to disappoint Miko, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell while you're down there so you don't miss a single video we do. And then friends, at the end of the day, I know it, you know it, and Miko knows it. Fandom is family.